Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for this lunchtime bulletin, the weekly roundup edition to be specific. This 26th day of December 2021, we all hope you had a lovely Merry Christmas. We now take you to the news in detail. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week challenged technical and political leadership at the office of the Prime Minister to preach and practice patriotism in driving the country's socio-economic transformation. Museveni was at Kololo Independence Grounds to officially close the recently held retreat at National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. The Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, underscored the need for all staff of ministries, departments and agencies to attain mindset change training in Chankwanzi.
What a way to end the year 2021 for both political and technical members of staff for the office of the Prime Minister. This is a culmination of a mid-November 2021 retreat that took place at National Leadership Institute Nali in Chankwanzi. Behind this retreat was a reflection of what Ugandans expected of these public servants, prompting the formulation and adoption of these resolutions.
To promote mindset change towards supporting government objectives and priorities.
At the same time, making sure government business is presented in Parliament and is passed.
Of emphasis was the need for teamwork, for effective service delivery.
We are already starting to see results from both our political and technical wings. We are seeing a mindset change that emphasizes timely response, better conduct of meetings, better time management, enhanced field supervision of government projects, and general improvement of morale.
The fight against corruption for transparency and accountability purposes was prominently emphasized.
When anyone is caught in any act of corruption, embezzlement, abuse of office, they will have to pay the price according to the law. Yes, no corruption official will be spared or protected.
It is a similar message that President Yoweri Museveni also emphasized.
That's why you, the monitors of government programs in the Prime Minister's office and Minister of Education, you should not tolerate anybody who is bringing charges in government schools, because that one is undermining the free education. And the free education is not just education for these people, it is in order to change society. So in your monitoring role, you should know why we introduced free education. It is because we wanted to help these people to change, to go from the old way to the new way.
However, to achieve all this, there is need for not just patriotism, but Pan-Africanism in order for political, social and economic benefits to be realized.
Because in order to guarantee our prosperity, we must be patriotic, love Uganda, but also love Africa. And I'm really surprised when I see Africans worshipping the United States instead of worshipping God, but without knowing where the power of the United States came from. The power of the United States came from that big market. The United States is 3 million square miles of land. Uganda is only 93,000 square miles. You can fit Uganda into the US 40 times.
As the retreat ended, there was a lot to take home as attested by some ministers in the OPM.
This has been very important in helping us as a form of orientation, what to do and how to go about supervising your ministry effectively.
Leadership of government business pledges further implementation of the NRM Manifesto, NDP 3 and Vision 2040. Henry Okurut, UBC.
The 18th Extraordinary East African Community Heads of State Summit this week directed the Council of Ministers to expeditiously commence and conclude negotiations with the Democratic Republic of Congo for admissions to the East African community and report to this next summit. The virtual summit considered the proposal to amend the Rule 11 of the Rules of Procedure and directed the Secretariat to convene an extraordinary meeting of the Sectoral Council on Legal and Judicial Affairs to deliberate and advise on this proposal for consideration by the next summit. And these are the details.
The summit was chaired by President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya and attended by President Museveni of Uganda, President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, President Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, His Excellency Prosper Bombaza, the Vice President of the Republic of Burundi, and Honorable Deng Alo Okol, Minister for East African Community Affairs, Republic of South Sudan, representing President Salva Kiir. Today's proceedings started by observing a minute of silence for fallen Tanzanian President John Pombe Magufuli, who passed on in March this year. The chairperson of the summit, President Uhuru Kenyatta, informed the leaders that he had received the considered report by the Council of Ministers that considered the application by the Democratic Republic of Congo to join the East African community.
I reaffirm the commitment of the summit to the East African community integration process. We are certainly sure that this is an effective vehicle for the economic development and prosperity of the people of East Africa. We therefore continue to prioritize the community agenda at both national and regional levels.
On his part, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni told the heads of state that Congo has always been part of East Africa and the distortions by the colonialists had kept them away. Museveni highlighted what he considers the purposes of integration.
The purpose of integration are really three. Number one, how do you solve the problem of prosperity? Ustawi wa jamii. Prosperity comes from business, production of goods and services. When you produce goods and services, where do you sell them? You sell them within the country, you sell them within the region, you sell them in Africa and internationally. The more buyers you have, the better. The second point about integration is strategic security. You can see how insecurity doesn't know boundaries, it goes from here to there. If we don't work together, we shall not manage the issue of insecurity. And finally, the people we are integrating are Nindugu. They are similar people. So it is easy for us. It's not like the Europeans who are trying to unite people who are different, speaking different language. Sisi tuko na lugha ya Kiswahili, which is a neutral language. So I'm really very happy, and I thank His Excellency for inviting us and the steps we have taken today. And I'm glad that many of the presidents attended in person. Thank you very much.
Other heads of state also welcomed the move and promised to expedite the admission process to finality.
I also wish to note that Rwanda welcomes the progress made with regards to the admission in the East African community of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We look forward to the prompt conclusion of the remaining admission procedures.
We have considered the verification mission report on readiness of DRC to join the community, and we have given directives which will expedite finalization of the remaining processes. We all know the importance of DRC joining our community, as all partner states have long and close cooperation by either bordering or having trade relationship, which will enhance prosperity of our people and the region.
Whether in political, economic, and social sectors are vital, and we have to ensure their implementation is critical and instinctive in all EAC partner states.
The Democratic Republic of Congo, which has a population of close to 90 million people, is expected to join the community before March 2022. The community has undertaken 7 out of the 10 agreed steps towards Congo's admission into the East African community. In his closing remarks, the chairperson of the summit, President Uhuru Kenyatta, reminded the leaders about the COVID-19 pandemic and how the member states can work together to contain the mutating virus. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
In other developments, the latest coming in from the Democratic Republic of Congo indicates that a number of ADF militants have been captured while others killed under the joint mobile offensive against the rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo. An estimated 61 allied Democratic Forces militants have surrendered to FARDC and UPDF. 34 have been captured, and under the joint mobile operations, 34 have been killed, as these details share with us.
Uganda People's Defense Forces has reached all the territories previously occupied by the Allied Democratic Forces in the thickets of the Democratic Republic of Congo jungles. An estimated 61 Allied Democratic Forces militants are said to have surrendered to FARDC and UPDF forward forces. 34 have been captured, and under the joint mobile operations, 34 have been killed.
And also recover 2 machine guns of the type called PK and over 300 rounds of ammunition. Our forces have also been able to dominate most of those positions where we were able to remove these terrorists.
Intelligence, surveillance and target acquisition remains on course in North Kivu and Ituri province by the UPDF, while FARDC forces are operating in Peru. UPDF has also registered casualties.
He has been very, very well stabilized and is back in operations in fact.
Allied Defense Forces continue to commit atrocities among civilians, and deployment of officers continues as locals are encouraged to remain vigilant during the festive season. Ivan Kahua, UBC News.
On a lighter note, over 80 babies were born this weekend on Christmas Day in Kampala's main health facilities, mainly in Kawempe National Referral Hospital and Lubaga Hospital. The Emmanuels, as the Christmas babies are known, were mainly born in the wee hours of the night. Let's take a look.
This boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day.
Christmas is a magical time where millions, if not billions of people globally celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the Savior, in their Christianity religion. Kampala Metropolitan has had a baby boom with close to 80 mothers giving birth at hospitals in the city. At Kawempe National Referral Hospital, the midwives delivered 80 babies, 48 of whom are male and 32 females.
For this day, today so far, since midnight up to now, we've had 80 deliveries. That is normal deliveries and scissors. And
Sylvia Nantongo, the in charge of the labor suite, says 30 mothers were still laboring and they expected more 25 babies in the course of the day.
Expecting more to come because they keep on coming.
At Rubaga Hospital, they delivered 2 mothers who both delivered male babies, and the hospital expected more 6 deliveries in the course of the day.
I'm feeling very well and very okay to give birth like on this day. And I thank Jesus Christ because everything was by God. I reached here around 4. It's not easier like on this day to find nurses. And I thank nurses from Rubaga. Really, they have cared for me. We are okay with my baby.
Some of the mothers at Kawempe National Referral Hospital expressed a number of challenges which included delays in service provision. The mothers believe that their babies are blessed since they are born on the same day with Jesus Christ. Dennis Igoa and Jen Nyiramugisha for UBC News.
Man will live.
Congratulations to the mothers and the families of those babies. Something significant right there. Now, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, this week undertook measures to increase community coordination over livestock mobility in Karamoja sub-region in pursuit of an integrated, prosperous and peaceful region. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development initiated clusters to promote cross-border cooperation, as these details share with us.
Karamoja cluster was launched on July 26, 2018 by ministers from IGAD member states from Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia and South Sudan. The Karamoja cluster refers to an area of land that borders between southwestern Ethiopia, northwestern Kenya and southeastern South Sudan. Lucy Daxbacha is the IGAD head of mission to the Republic of Uganda.
Karamoja cluster of pastoralists is one of the 7 clusters of pastoralists in IGAD region. Apart from the Karamoja cluster, we have clusters like the Borana cluster, the Dikil cluster, as well as the Mandera cluster, among others. And the Karamoja cluster brings together the 4 member states of IGAD who have similar ecosystems. They have similar communities who live in arid and semi-arid lands, and therefore they have a unique environment.
She says the cluster intervention is to promote peaceful coexistence in areas which depends on pastoralism as their main livelihood.
Survival mechanisms, livelihood is based on pastoralism and nomadism. Agro-pastoralists as well live in this Karamoja cluster. And that means the member states of IGAD, the government of the member states of IGAD, actually have to support the communities who live in the Karamoja cluster in terms of coping with drought, coping with floods, coping with desert locusts, but also just ensuring that the communities are resilient throughout the year to all these natural disasters and natural hazards.
Moroto and Kotido districts were able to develop a joint drought response which included livestock vaccination and health provisions.
The office of IGAD in Moroto works and focuses on 1, building peace among the pastoralist communities, and the peace that has to be built responds, for example, to the control of small arms and the use of automatic weapons as a means of survival, to raid cows and to access any other survival assets. And secondly, the office of IGAD in Moroto also promotes social cohesion through promotion of cultural exchanges, through promoting education of communities in the area.
The cross-border cooperation among neighboring countries is executed in the form of a cluster approach and has resulted in many positive impacts. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Kayunga District Chairperson Andrew Muwonge was this week sworn in as the fully elected District Chairperson. During this function held at Kayunga District Headquarters, Andrew Muwonge promised to serve his people to the best of his abilities.
Muwonge Andrew, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I shall faithfully exercise the function of the chairperson of Kayunga District Council.
Andrew Muwonge, the NRM candidate who won the Kayunga by-elections, has been sworn in as the new district chairperson at the function presided over by the Kayunga District Chief Magistrate, Semondo Benson. After swearing in, Muwonge Andrew has promised to serve the people of Kayunga and ably embrace development of the district while working with the government to ensure service delivery to the people of Kayunga District.
I have been a youth leader in my party for the last 8 years. And I've come to serve the people of Kayunga.
Muwonge also appreciated the NRM Secretariat for the full support rendered to him through the campaign, and he has promised to end the wrangles, especially from the top leadership of the district, by encouraging unity. Rosemary Seninde, the Director, Mobilization NRM Party, also recognized the unity the people of Kayunga expressed in the recently concluded by-elections.
We are very grateful to the council because what has been going around is that Muwonge was not going to work with the council. But what we have seen this afternoon, where he presented the names of his executive and the entire council supported the names, supported the people he chose, that is a clear testimony that the council is going to work well with him.
The function was also graced by the Secretary General of the NRM party, Richard Twadong, who emphasized the unity of all the Kayunga residents, and he also cautioned Muwonge to focus on the interest of the people during his term in office.
Success and the burden of sacrifice to a leader to make sure that his or her people come out of poverty lies in your hands. When Kayunga is quoted to be the most successful local government, it will be because of you, the councillors, working together with your chairman. Nobody is going to come and develop Kayunga but you, councillors.
The place for Kayunga district chairperson had been rendered vacant after the demise of Fefe Kase.
Uganda National Examinations Board this week advised teachers in lower secondary to adapt to the new curriculum. The Executive Director, UNEB, Dan Dongo, this week said that the new curriculum will form a working document to set up UNEB exams and forming the basis of assessing students. Let's take a look.
Uganda National Examinations Board has decried the year 2021, describing the calendar as a disruptive one to their program of conducting, marking and releasing examinations due to the emergency COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns, which squarely left the education sector down to its knees. According to the Executive Director, UNEB, Dan Dong, the challenges that affected the education sector were caused by anticipated failure to adhere to the set standard operating procedures, like requirements to increase the number of invigilators, supervisors, scouts, markers and centers.
Social distancing in the marking centers. That now meant that UNEB had to secure more examination centers than usual. Whereas usually we have about 32 schools that host the marking. We had to acquire more, so we now had 40 marking centers. These also meant more money to pay the extra centers, and this also meant more money to pay for the security.
On the issue of the new lower secondary curriculum, UNEB says its proper implementation was affected by the lockdown on schools. According to UNEB, some teachers have adapted to this curriculum, which is competence-based, and those who have not and still think of using the old one need to know that the assessment is going to change.
Started from senior one. If we were operating normally, the senior threes for this year would now be, would have now had from senior 1, 2, and senior 3 following the new curriculum. And then the following year, we would have the first cohort of candidates who have been taught under the new curriculum would be taking their examinations. Right now, the Uganda National Examinations Board is training its own staff on competency-based assessment.
In another development on the issue of courts of law, dismissing electoral petitions of members of parliament who forged academic documents on technicalities, UNEB says it's not right.
But forgery is a very clear offense under the penal code of this country. And the authorities, the powers that be, even when court dismisses the election petition over a technicality, the powers that be should take up this as a criminal aspect. I mean, they should look at the criminal aspect of it, not just the electoral aspect.
However, Nokorash was quick to acknowledge that UNEB has no powers in law to prosecute such people, but have the right to appear before courts of law as witnesses to testify about the authenticity of the documents in question. I'm Navka Farida and Sana Anet in Tinda.
Leader of opposition in Parliament, Matthias Mpuga, this week pledged to continue demanding for accountability from government, as well as changing the face of politics in the country. Mpuga says that the key focus during his tenure of office will be building a strong opposition team that will continue working for the interests of the ordinary Ugandans rather than their own. Now, this was during the end-of-year interactive dinner with the media.
So the space that we want to fight for does not belong to politicians alone.
but a space for everyone to do their work, because our roles are not competitive but complementary.
It has been 6 months now of dedicated service as leader of opposition in Parliament since his appointment to that office, determined to build a strong team that will work for the interest of ordinary Ugandans. The leader of opposition in Parliament, Matthias Mpuga, says accountability is going to be their key focus.
I can tell you the time to work in the dark is no more. And we want to use the media as the torchbearer of our activities. After all, we claim to be on accountability and service. We are going to account for every inch of space and time we shall occupy in that place, in that house.
According to Mpuga, the narrative that opposition politics is more of sabotage of government programs and development will soon become history. He says now is the time to change from the negative agenda against the cause of the opposition to the positive agenda of working for the interests of the ordinary Ugandans.
Building a Uganda to which all of us would be proud to bequeath to our children and future generations.
He believes that all legislators, opposition or not, should work together towards building sanity and strengthening accountability foundation for the benefit of the future generation. Mpuga further commended the media for its efforts in continuously unmasking all the dirt in the political arena.
We will continue to work with you and will come any criticism, any kind of advice, as long as you're sure that it will make us better.
The invitation to you who played publicly to be able to influence public duty on our part is to be influencers.
Over the time, Matthias Mpuga has continuously called for positive collaboration for clear accountability. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
A hailstorm this week destroyed gardens and houses belonging to over 200 families in Kalangala, Wachato sub-county in Nakaseke district. The Office of the Prime Minister extended support to these communities, 20 tons of maize, flour, beans, among others, that were received by the area members of Parliament, Sarah Najuma and Alan Mayanja at Nakaseke Central, Kalangala, Wachato sub-county.
The Office of the Prime Minister has extended support to communities which were recently affected by a hailstorm that destroyed their gardens and houses in Kalagala, Wachato sub-county in Nakaseke district. The area member of Parliament received relief items at Kalagala, Wachato sub-county headquarters for the 200 affected families. The Office of the Prime Minister supports communities affected by disasters. However, this is always possible when members of Parliament of those constituencies work with government to support such affected communities. Nakaseke District Woman Member of Parliament Sarah Najuma commended the Office of the Prime Minister and government for fulfilling the pledge of supporting the affected.
Tukiriziganyiza ne mmaka munnange okusokera dansoko kwebaza gavumenti ya NRM ngampe ita Prime Minister's Office olw'emmere eyo eyatuweereddwa nga chairman wasoose okugamba nti olwadde erudderuddeyokko mubaddemu ate ababadde n'ebizibu ebitusingako ng'ab'ebuduuda bo ate ng'ettaka bwe libuutuka bonna bwe bbu ne baba nga bonna balina kubasombawo bafunnya we babakola ki we babatuuza.
The Member of Parliament, Nakaseke Central, Alan Mayanja, promised to support all government programs aimed at development without politicizing them.
These people were affected by a hailstorm which destroyed their crops and their houses. So we thank the government for giving us this support.
Si lwa bibiina bya bufuzi, si mawanga, si madiini, naye ku lw'obulungi lw'okulaba nga abantu b'e Wachato, abantu b'e Kalagala, abantu b'e Kyaluweesi, abantu b'e Mityomere, abantu b'e Kiswaga, abantu b'e Kirinda, Mijumwa yonna okulaba nga tufuuka eddoboozi lyammwe.
In other news, Ugandans were this week advised to strictly observe the COVID-19 standard operating procedures as the Ministry of Health confirmed more cases of Omicron COVID-19 variant. Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, said that the Omicron variant has been detected by the Uganda Virus Research Institute.
Uganda has registered 73 cases of Omicron COVID-19 variant at a time one can describe as fragile due to the uncontrolled movements during this festive season. Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng confirms that the 73 cases of Omicron were detected by the Uganda Virus Research Institute, but the community situation is not yet established.
Although Uganda has officially registered only 73 cases of the Omicron variant, the picture in the communities could be different, given that Omicron is largely responsible for the surging numbers in many countries around the world. The Uganda Virus Research Institute will continue to conduct genomic sequencing of samples obtained from incoming travelers at the ports of entry and among cases detected within the country, so as to establish the true picture of this variant in Uganda.
On the same note, the country has registered increased cases of COVID-19 infections in the last 1 week.
We have registered a 100% increase in cases and positivity in the last 7 days compared to the previous week. We notice that most of these cases are in Wakiso district, 46%. That is 1,107 cases out of the 2,423. Followed by Kampala, 38%. That is 926 cases out of the 2,423.
World over, vaccination has been pointed out as the only effective way of controlling the COVID-19 pandemic. Hence, all unvaccinated people have been urged to take the jab. People above the age of 50 have been recommended for the booster doses after 6 months of full vaccination.
Senior persons above 50 years and those with comorbidities get a booster dose of the vaccines.
The World Health Organization has commended Uganda for taking the vaccination exercise seriously.
I will not name countries, but I would say that Uganda has achieved relatively a good level in the African continent.
The schedule for mass booster doses will be announced by the Ministry of Health after the country has achieved 50% of the vaccination as recommended by the World Health Organization. Currently, 26% of the eligible population has received COVID-19 jabs and 15.5% of these are fully vaccinated. Adiana Kuti, UBC.
Staff of National Water and Sewerage Corporation have been given 2 months to have got certificate of the COVID-19 vaccination as a requirement to access offices. The Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, disclosed this during the pass-out of some members of staff after completion of a refresher course in patriotism at Nabisunsa Girls School.
As the country prepares for full reopening of the economy in January 2021, Uganda targets to vaccinate 22 million people, about half of its population, to contain the spread of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. The Managing Director, National Water and Sewerage Corporation, Engineer Dr. Silva Mugisha, says the corporation will soon not tolerate unvaccinated staff within their offices. Dr. Mugisha was speaking at the pass-out of 210 staff members who have undergone leadership and patriotism training at Nabisunsa Girls School.
You have their rights. You don't force people to be vaccinated, and we are not forcing people. But we also have our rights as an institution. You don't force us to be sick because you chose not to be vaccinated. So we have said, kindly go and get vaccinated, because at a certain point, we are going to say that unvaccinated people cannot come to work in national water. So we are not forcing people, but we don't want people also to force us to fall sick.
Dr. Mugisha urged staff to be patriotic by fighting non-revenue water, which costs the corporation billions of shillings in losses.
Non-revenue water, which is quite high, especially here in Kampala, and invite everybody to do his or her part to make sure that we reduce this level of non-revenue water.
The Deputy Chief Political Commissar of the UPDF, Colonel Nelson Ahebwa, explained why the Army got involved in this kind of training.
Area where we are mainly focusing on packages about knowing Uganda, appreciating where we have come from, realizing the potential that we have as Ugandans, and harnessing the synergies that we require in causing the socio-economic transformation that we desire the whole country. So it is, when you say militarizing, it is a perception.
This was the third intake, bringing to 710 the total of National and Sewerage Corporation employees that have been trained in this year. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
And with that, we'll take a short commercial break and return with the Business Weekly Roundup. Stay tuned.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 thank you points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More thank you points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
This holiday season is all about kujienjoy, kupiga sherehe na kuget lit na kupata way more than you expected. Soon to be father. Kwenye Showmax original film Baba Twins. It's about kuget jina lako kwenye limelight in Famous. First and only on Showmax. I need to discover who I am without you. And it's about kuchotwa na drama or holding on for dear life in the telenovela Kina.
No matter what.
Form ni kupiga sherehe kiwewe na hii yote iko just a click away. Get festive, get Showmax.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Sulga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices.
As a teacher, I have the opportunity to shape how children grow and learn. I believe in creating a non-violent school where children feel safe and respected. I promise to lead by example and create a different kind of relationship with my learners, one that helps them grow.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Sulga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup here on UBC TV this 26th day of December 2021. We'll now take you to the world of business. The business community at Busia One-Stop Border Post this week had a setback in their businesses, as few customers were allowed to cross in this festive period due to the fear of spreading COVID-19 pandemic. Now, festive seasons are the times when the business community expect an increase in customer numbers and earnings, but this was not the case.
Lack of customers at the border is attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected disposable incomes. This is in addition to an excess of general products that are used on a daily basis.
Abantu tebalina sente. Mutufu abantu tebalina sente.
People don't have money. You wake up early in the morning to go and work, and yet by midday, all you have in the pocket is only 4,000 shillings. And yet rent is also needed, and on top of that, children need to eat. At the end of it all, it gets frustrating.
People are
complaining of the business. It's reducing it down, saying they have doubled the prices. When they buy on the other side, they have doubled the prices. When they come, the taxes also are high, especially on the clothes right now. This one B, on the side of the clothes, we have our factories in Uganda. So it has really caused the problem. That's why they have hiking the price so that people to give opportunity, the manufacturers of Uganda also to sell them.
For Siraj Mutawanika, a money changer, the uptake of Kenyan currency by the business community has affected his cash flow and is gradually being pushed out of business.
We used
to make money from Kenyans who crossed into Uganda for shopping. But at this point, the shops are using Kenyan currency, which has left us with no customers and literally no business.
Nonetheless, the community is optimistic that with the reopening of different sectors of the economy, business will flourish. Government recently pronounced itself on the opening of the economy by January 2022, whether corona persists or otherwise. Charlotte Amoge and Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Now, at least 15 non-compliant private recruitment agencies and non-pre-departure orientation training institutions were this week suspended by government over failure to comply with the ministry's regulations. The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, was briefing the media on the ministry's performance.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development continues to put in place systems and guarantee decent, safe and secure jobs for Ugandans abroad. The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, says over 84,000 Ugandans have been dispatched through these companies for job placement outside the country.
The first aspect that we are undertaking is we have a monitoring system in the countries where Ugandans are, and a shelter where Ugandans are, because in UAE, in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Qatar, those are the three countries we are starting with to put shelters.
She says the ministry has tightened the regulations of licensed recruitment firms, and over the last 6 months, 15 non-compliant recruitment and non-pre-departure orientation training institutions have been suspended.
Also increase penalties and more vigilance on suspension of companies that are lying to Ugandans, those who are cheating Ugandans. There are those that get money from Ugandans and they don't take them abroad. So far we have been able to suspend a number of companies and also been able to compel them to refund money to Ugandans.
The suspended include Middle East Consultants Limited, the Eagle Supervision Limited, Forbes Enterprises Limited, Hala Uganda Recruitment Limited, and Golden Star Recruitment Services, among others. She urges Ugandans not to go through agents and illegal traffickers while seeking for jobs abroad.
The complaints of Ugandans are majorly on salary, on health care, on torture while at work. But I also want to tell you that when we investigate some of these complaints, less than 0.05 are from companies that recruit and place legally. Majority of the cases are people who go on their own or people who are trafficked by agents.
When they get there, the people who traffic them normally remove their travel documents, remove passports. They don't even see their contracts because their terms are not clear.
Jane Ramcha reporting for UBC in Kampala.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 thank you points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More thank you points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Still the weekly roundup bulletin. We now take you to the international scene. The Archbishop Desmond Tutu, the Nobel Peace Prize winner who helped end apartheid in South Africa, died at the age of 90. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the churchman's death marked another chapter of bereavement in our nation's farewell to a generation of outstanding South Africans. He said Archbishop Tutu helped bequeath a liberated South Africa. Tutu was one of the country's best-known figures at home and abroad. A contemporary of anti-apartheid icon Nelson Mandela, he was one of the driving forces behind the movement to end the policy of radical segregation and discrimination enforced by the white minority government against the black majority in South Africa from 1948 until 1991. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1984 for his role in the struggle to abolish the apartheid system. Tutu's death comes just weeks after that of South Africa's last apartheid-era President F.W. de Klerk, who died at the age of 85. Furthermore, officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo say at least 6 people have died in a suicide bomb attack on a crowded restaurant in the eastern city of Beni. Police prevented the bomber from entering the building, but he blew himself up at the entrance, killing himself and 5 other people. Another 13 people were injured. The officials blamed Saturday's attack on the Allied Democratic Forces, a militant group said to be linked to the so-called Islamic State. So far, no group has claimed responsibility for the attack. More than 30 people were celebrating Christmas at the Inbox restaurant when the bomb went off.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 thank you points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More thank you points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment.
Thanks.
Mom.
Nurture the moment with Minute Maid Delight, now available in apple flavor in the 400ml ready-to-drink pack.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda.
Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And right into the sports news from the week. Uganda Police Force this week rewarded its excellent performers from the Tokyo 2020 Games with promotions and cash rewards. The colourful ceremony was officiated by the Inspector General of Police, Okoth Chola, at the police headquarters in Naguru.
That at its last sitting, the police authority approved and promoted Inspector Cheptegei Joshua and Inspector Njia Benjamin to Assistant Superintendent of Police.
By the powers vested unto him, the Inspector General of Police has promoted and rewarded Uganda police members that took part in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Gold medalist Joshua Cheptegei and coach Benjamin Njia have moved from Inspector of Police to Assistant Superintendent of Police. Peruth Chemutai, who became the first female medal winner, was first returned to police constable and then instantly promoted to Inspector of Police. The force also hailed those that took part but didn't win at the Olympics, including Marceline Chelangat, who is now a full Inspector of Police, Immaculate Chemutai from Corporal to Assistant Inspector of Police, and Lenny Shida, formerly a constable, now Assistant Inspector of Police.
For any competitive game, it is usually not about who runs fastest, but it is the feeling of teamwork that you will always excel. I further encourage you to use the teamwork to strengthen the relationships in your lives.
The IGP tasked this crop to be exemplary and improve the esteem of the force that is one of the bedrocks of Uganda's sports industry.
Once again, congratulations.
He also recalled from retirement and reinstated Coach Faustino Kiwa into the force for his service to sport in the force over the years. The Uganda Police Athletics team also received a van to ease movement with plans to acquire a training center in the pipeline. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Still in sports, the Uganda Netball Federation this week hosted its Under-12 Netball Christmas tournament at Old Kampala Sports Arena. It's part of a federation's big plan of ensuring continuity with emphasis on grassroots development.
The future of Uganda's netball has gathered at Old Kampala Sports Arena for the Under-12 Netball Christmas Cup. The tournament, organized by Uganda Netball Federation, has attracted 5 regional teams, with some players as young as 9, but yet so mature in approach.
I'm very excited to see the young ones because some of these players are 9 years. Seeing under 12 on court from every region, you don't know how it feels. Seeing someone from Northern Uganda, Eastern Uganda, Western, Central region, Kampala, all of them here playing and competing, and they know that game. When you look, I've not seen so many errors on board. I mean, I love this.
The teams are first played through a round robin, with the top 2 contesting the final, which was won by Central after beating Kampala 8-7. Western Region's Helen Namudu was named the most valuable player, and Central Region's Kulthum Namutebi best defender.
quite remarkable. Their performance, rather, I mean, for their edge, the moves they were playing, they were very inspiring. Otherwise, thank you for joining us for this lunchtime weekly roundup bulletin. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold. Continue to enjoy the festive season responsibly. Remember, COVID-19 is still real. Please do abide by the standard operating procedures, and have a lovely week.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more thank you points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 thank you points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More thank you points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment.